we're sitting here, we got 5 moms. And I was just curious, like, Sarah, do you have any stories about, like, something silly that's happened in your motherhood so far?
I don't know. My kid just is. He's crazy. He has his mother's personality, so he's a little nuts. Yeah, I would say it was a couple weeks ago when, you know, he walked out of my bathroom wearing these shoes. I don't know many men who could do that, so he's a very talented kid. And I've got pictures to prove it. And I was a little concerned. I actually called my mom and said, Mom, how old do you have to be to take a child to a counselor's office? And she thought I was talking about a kid in Upstreet whose parents may have called me. I was like, no, I'm talking about my son who's wearing my high heels right now.
So normal.
Anybody got any funny mom stories, funny kid stories, funny husband stories?
They're funny now. They weren't at the time, because I remember when Molly was 2, and back then, they don't have these anymore, but the walkers that were on the wheels that the kids could, you know, paddle around, and we had the hardwood floors, and Molly was between 12 and 18 months old, and she was waddling on that, and I'd left the door open into the garage, and there were steps. Oh. I didn't even know there was no sound or anything, and I'd go around the corner, and she's like upside down.
Like upside down screaming,
No,
upside down legs
and
kicking?
So, yeah, I mean, that you're, as a parent, you kind of go, oh my gosh. But, I mean, she just came out of it. I think you had like just a bump. She had a bump on her head, but it wasn't anything even.
Oh my
But
God.
at the time, we were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Caitlin shared the same story. Same thing, down the steps. The whole thing's upside down. She's still in it, trying to crawl out, and the wheels are still going.
Like down 4 steps, down 20 steps?
5, maybe. But probably 20 steps was Kyle when Caitlin used to crawl, and they're 16 months apart. He would sit at the bottom of the step and watch her crawl, and then he'd beat her up to the top step and wait until she got to the top step, and then he'd go doink and watch her roll.
Wow. And how much longer was it that before they took your kids away from you?
He only did it twice before I caught on what he was doing.
You guys have any funny stories of parent neglect that fits in with everybody else's?
Oh, I have one.
Are you
I have a serious
looking at
one.
me, Morgan?
No.
Leaving my child at church?
Oh, that's right.
You did?
Actually,
Do tell.
Yes.
I had to leave, and so I told Jason.
This was just a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, just a couple weeks ago. I told Jason, I'm taking off. I have Jaden. It turned out I ended up with Jaden and Hope, and I get home and I'm doing my thing, and I pick up a message from Sheila Miller, calls from the church, and says, "Are you guys missing anyone?" And Jason wasn't home yet. He was just pulling in, so I was like, not that I know of. And so she's like, well, Cole is still at the church. And so Morgan kindly brought my son home. And so I said to Jason, what happened? Well, I looked all over the church to see if there were any kids left. I didn't see any, so I left.
Wendy, got any silly kid
I have a neglect
stories?
story.
Oh, those are the
Isn't that
best.
terrible?
Do tell.
Cole was probably just at the age where they're kind of rolling around a lot when you don't really realize that they're rolling around that much. So probably, I don't know, what, 8 months maybe? Somewhere around there. And he was on the changing table, and you know, they tell you don't ever leave a kid on a changing table for a reason. But he hadn't been rolling very much, so I didn't think much about it. So I had him strapped in because there was a belt, a seat belt. And he was laying there, and like there's a part up like this where there's a drawer, so his feet were up against that part. And the phone rang, and I just ran, which was just right outside the door, and I just ran to go get the phone, and I come back, and he's hanging upside down with his feet on the strap, straight upside down, just looking at me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And, you know, of course, I run and pick him up, and yeah, last time I ever left a kid on a changing table. And I don't volunteer in the nursery, so don't be nervous.
Thank you for not volunteering.
Yeah.
A good favorite memory is the kids were in the bathtub, and someone had started the dishwasher that doesn't usually run the dishwasher. And they put soap in that was not dishwasher soap. And so we came out, and there was the whole kitchen floor, thank goodness it was tile, was covered with bubbles.
Oh no.
And so I told the kids that they could come out of the bathtub and play in the bubbles, and they were slipping and sliding all over the floor. And that's one of their funny favorite memories.
So hold on, all your kids are naked,
On the kitchen
sliding
floor.
through the bubbles.
Sliding through bubbles.
in the kitchen.
That's good.
Lovely.
Awesome.
Did you video that?
No.
Oh, that's good.
Was that on the Jones soda? Can I get that on the Jones?
I don't know, maybe.
I think when you have a baby, your brains fall out
Pretty much.
with the child.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You lose brain cells every time you're pregnant. That's
I
supposed to be
remember-
scientifically true.
Yeah, I believe you. I know. I remember a couple funny things. I remember serving here at the church real early in the morning when I had to be here real early, and the girls were real little. And I would always be so paranoid as to what Doug would bring them in church.
Justin? Yes.
And I actually remember another girl that I served with, and that morning that we would be betting each other whose children looked the worse. And I remember Doug got it one Sunday because the girls came in with red pants and pink shirts.
And Doug by nature is not colorblind, as far as we know.
No, as far as we know, he is not. A little hearing loss, but not blindness.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Dad dressing.
Yeah.
Anything else other than your cross-dressing son?
I don't know. I don't know if you guys are like this, but there are certain things about motherhood like I can't do. I can't do it. I can't watch Dora the Explorer. Dora makes me want
To puke?
yes.
Sing it. Yeah.
I know. I just can't. You know, and I've heard like other moms say like they hate parks because they feel like they're dirty. I'm like, you know, there's just certain things that you just
when mine
you
were
feel
young, too,
obligated to do. You feel like it's your
Barney.
obligatory
Yeah.
thing to enjoy as a mom. There are just certain things you just
Yeah.
you know.
Well, here, at least you have Dora. We had Barney.
Oh.
Yeah, we had Barney too.
Yeah, Mason
never
tries
did
to like Barney.
How's
but
the Barney song go? How's that?
I love you, you love me. We're a happy family with a great neck
It's been a while.
She's trying to block it out.
Love me too.
That's the Wiggles.
Perfect.
See, he's not allowed to watch.
Actually, when
Lake's obsessed with the
Kelsey,
Wiggles.
she suffered post-viral acute, I gotta say it fast, post-viral acute, encephalopathy. And when she,
Falling down the stairs.
no, that was Caitlin. This is Kelsey. So, and she, when she came out of the ICU, you know, they went from one ICU A to B, and when she came out of the ICU and out of like this coma, that's what she said was Barney, because Barney was on the TV.
Aww.
So yeah, Barney's kind of special to us.
We were thankful for Barney.
Yeah, she was 22 months and said, Barney, Barney, and pointed to the TV. That was her first words.
Now that I've heard that story, I almost feel bad at laughing at Barney.
Yeah.
Almost.
Barney's special.
Well, hey, stay tuned. We're going to be back with more moms in just a little bit.